Restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Welcome back to Illinois Rising. I'm Pat Hughes, filling in for Dan Proft, who was here earlier in the show but had to leave to attend to a business matter. So he has allowed me to fly solo for the last couple of segments. The next segment I want to discuss is the governor's race. You know, Dan and I talk about this all of the time, you know, on the right and Republican side, which, you know, I'm part of. Bruce Rauner obviously is our governor. He is struggling to gain some traction. His approval ratings are not where, of course, if you want him to have re-election, where they should be right now. And he started with his ads where, you know, he's in a tool shed in a plaid shirt. And by the way, the plaid shirt looks a little bit too out of the dry cleaner bag for my taste. But that's just the shtick that he wants to run with. I'm a regular guy. You know, I believe in this stuff, the duct tape and all of that. I'm sure you've seen the ads because he spent millions of dollars on it so far. I don't think it's the best strategy, but I appreciate that the governor is understanding the predicament he's in and getting out ahead of this and trying to, you know, reintegrate himself with the voters so that they can get to learn who he is again. And the reason for that is he's going to have some substantial opposition. On the Democrat side, you have Chris Kennedy, a famous Kennedy, son of Robert Kennedy, and of course, J.B. Pritzker. And J.B. Pritzker is a multi-billionaire. He's the scion of the Pritzker family. He's worth a couple of $1 billion or whatever it is. And Kennedy, of course, is a Kennedy. So they're going to have plenty of money. Rauner's going to have plenty of money. And by October of 2018, you're not going to be able to turn on your radio or your television because it's all going to be ads. I mean, there aren't even going to be TV shows, right? So if you watch Big Bang Theory or whatever your show is, it's not even going to be on. It's just going to be ads. And this is the reason why you know that. It started already. This week, I saw an ad of J.B. Pritzker for the first time. He's doing an introductory ad of himself to mostly the Democrat electorate. And it's one of those standard, produced, out-of-touch ads where JB, who as I mentioned, is a billionaire and has basically been a billionaire his entire life, right? He's a silver spoon kid of the most epic proportion, is walking down a street that he would never walk down. He probably has never walked down it in his life before this ad was shot, talking about the things that he's done in private life and how he's going to, defeat Rauner and win the election. And the last shot of the ad, he's a big guy. So his idea of the campaign is, hey, we need to think big, juxtaposing his size against, the ad and the people in it. The last shot is of him sitting in the middle of like dozens and dozens of school-aged children. I have an 11-year-old son. I would not let him be in that shot if my life depended on it. But there are kids in that shot. And it's the whole, lineage of every shape and size and ethnicity. You have African-American kids, Hispanic kids. There's a kid with, on the autism spectrum, there's a kid in a wheelchair. Everybody they could get in there to get every demographic they could possibly get, he's in there. And he's sitting in the middle of these kids. And to me, it looked kind of creepy. And I'm not casting aspersions on JB because I don't know him, but it's almost like, he looked like Jim Jones. Remember Jim Jones in Guyana before they drank the Kool-Aid? That's what it looked like to me. He looked like a religious cult leader. He didn't look like somebody I wanted to be governor. He looked like this sort of giant, creepy guy. And again, I'm not casting aspersions on him, in the middle of all these children. And it didn't make any sense to me. But that wasn't the worst part. That was not the worst part. The worst part of the ad is its tagline, which is vote for J.B. Pritzker, Democrat, fight for what's right and getting things done. No, that's exactly right. I know you've never heard anything so groundbreaking in politics in your life. Fight for what's right and getting things done. And this is basically why we're in the predicament we're in Illinois. We have ostensibly someone who could be a good governor and is trying to be a good governor in Bruce Rauner. And he's sitting in a tool shed somewhere in a plaid shirt that looks just way too pressed to be someone who's working all day in the tool shed. And then you have J.B. Pritzker with all these kids saying things like, fight for what's right and getting things done. Words that have absolutely no meaning, right? So you're not getting a choice between J.B. Pritzker and Bruce Rauner. But if you do have a choice between those two guys, you got to think really, really hard about keeping the incumbent.